is considerable. You should know, however, between the structural instability, the toxicity levels, and the incendiary chemicals, the mission does carry substantial risk. It is nonetheless urgent. You are not a demolitions team, I fully recognize this. But if you could arrange the burn-off, I would humbly welcome your aid.
Ah, I see your infection is progressing. Hold still while I take samples for analysis. While I transmit the data to Dr. Sell, there are some questions I should ask. Do you have any of the following symptoms? Dizziness, fever, shortness of breath, and inexhaustible hunger for sentient flesh?
I could go for a Nerf burger. That doesn't count, right?
I will note it on your chart. Ah, here's Dr. Sell.
Good news. Your antibody count is off the charts. I'll start work on a vaccine immediately. You are remarkably brave. Our progress has just jumped forward by years. While you recuperate, I'm going to transmit the usual secrecy agreements. Just use your thumbprint to sign on the sensor.
I'm not signing anything until I know what it is.
Oh, no. This is perfectly normal. We developed the vaccine for Republic soldiers first, and when it's proven, sell it to colonists. Until then, it's under wraps. We don't want the Exchange or the Sith funding some horrible operation with an underground version.
Lives will be lost while this profit is being made.
Tell me something I don't know. Every week we hear another Rakghoul horror story. But every colonist on the planet is going to want this vaccine. How do I tell my superiors we gave up that kind of money?
An entire planet succumbed to this plague. Are you a doctor or a patent office?
I'm a doctor. And this cure will get made. Even if I have to build the manufacturing plant or hand-synthesize every macrophage.
Well, I think she's angry, but from past experience, may I say that usually motivates her. If it means anything coming from a droid, sir, congratulations on your research, and also your remarkable survival.
Excuse me, friend. The Republic told me you might be able to help with a difficult situation. They say you are a most reliable operative on Terrace. Have you heard anything about titroxinate being sold on the black market?
Is there a reason you're whining to me about it?
I just thought you might be able to help us keep it out of the wrong hands. Titroxinate was the pre-patent name for the weaponized agent we think was responsible for the Rakghoul plague. The Empire could fashion it into a terrible weapon, turning our soldiers into monsters and setting them against us.
What's my role in all this?
Trace the original titroxinate samples to an old Chemworks factory. It's overrun with Nexu. We can't get near it. If you can retrieve any canisters that remain, the Republic will see you're well rewarded for your effort.
Welcome to Terrace. I hear you've done the Republic a good turn in the past, so I'm sorry not to have a warmer welcome for you.
What's happening now?
We're having some trouble. Nothing you couldn't have predicted, but there you are. Our bases here are far from self-sufficient. We're not farmers, and there's no existing infrastructure here to work with. We're at the mercy of our supply ships. And this month just went nose down in some of the worst territory on Terrace.
Is the ship lost? Why haven't your men recovered the supplies?
Our men tried to reach the ship once, but they turned back after taking serious casualties. They said it's more than just Rakghouls, but couldn't make an ID. If you still want to go, you'll need to talk to our quartermaster at the supply shed across the base. She's got the exact coordinates of the crash.
And you're just going to make this all better, huh?
Usually people are happy if I come to make things better.
I'm Karen Wet, Quartermaster. Commander Gardet just called to say you're retrieving our supplies. For which, by the way, I and the rest of the troops here humbly thank you. But I don't want Commander Fat Pants to think it means he gets away with this. Embezzled the Republic's money to build your office out of Alderaanian timber, but that's fine. because someone like you will waltz in to save the day.
That's a serious accusation.
I said over and over that the ship needed repairs. The left stasis generator was loose, and the hyperdrive motivator was seeping fluid. But Gardet had already spent our allotted maintenance budget on himself.
I noticed he had a pretty posh setup.
Every shipment has some personal item he's bringing in. Somehow he's juggling the numbers he sends to HQ. No commander needs a personal vehicle in an outpost this size. If you can take this holo camera out to the crash site, you could get the evidence I need to get him court-martialed.
What kind of evidence do you think I'll find?
Here, take the camera. If you take holopics of the engine, I can show that the documented lack of repairs is what caused the crash. The most important thing is the supplies, though. The crash site isn't far. When you get everything, bring it back here so I can distribute it.
Ichusa yomata chitoya, asubi mota uipa, patoga wata kiko uba kiri wata buki donko.
What kind of beast is out there?
Chunki faguta, jiho poda ji oto vokise. Buka kampak nijit, tonka yiliska chanaga, kabanotase makipuna, malituta udmishka.
Beryl said you have something for me to take back.
Kuchusa yomata chitoya, asubi mota uipa. Poya toka changa goptula do bata wana wanki. Chaskruni do pat kurira do kanki kun.
The scavengers must have a camp. Know where it is?
Piti do tenya go kakajujo. Da biska ku paliya. Pampawula ji ota kakoga huta nupisto.
If I had a credit for every death trap I've escaped, I wouldn't need this job.
Yana da punu. Tauz azulas uval tung mi chakulka dimaji. Kabanotase makipuna. Malituta udmishka.
Why'd you have to go and kill everybody? Some of those guys were all right.
I'm here for the planetary core samples. Hand them over.
Planetary core samples. Right. You work for Beryl Thorne, don't you? That's what I used to do. The name's Tyrodol. I was helping Beryl smuggle artifacts off Taris disguised as core samples. I thought we'd get rich. Turns out Beryl's a soft touch. Instead of selling what we smuggle on the Imperial market, Beryl gives relics to descendants of Taris survivors for a tiny finder's fee. Ridiculous.
Smuggling relics off Taris is against the law.
Exactly. It's dangerous work, and we should be earning a killing. I let Beryl think rat ghouls killed me, and went into business with the scavengers. They had a bright idea to increase profits. Why sell a relic to the Imperials once we can sell it a dozen times? These droids are making copies of the relics.
These droids can forge counterfeits?
They can recreate a relic down to the last detail. The copies are flawless. Let's be smart about this. I'll give you a hefty payout and a cargo pod of counterfeit relics if you keep my operation quiet. You go home richer, Beryl gets some relics to give away, and I stay in business. What do you say?
I think she deserves better than to be cheated by you.
Oh well, I guess we finish this the hard way. Droids, code black!
I can smell chemicals on you. But I also smell fire and smoke. Did you complete the burn-off? All the toxins and pollutants have been incinerated?
Definitely. No question about it.
Nothing could please me more. Thank you. The structure will still collapse, but it shall leave no poison in its wake. Perhaps we can rebuild the area after all.
These are all the canisters I was able to recover.
Thank you. The Republic thanks you. Imagine how horrific it would be if the Ragul nightmare had spread to the rest of the galaxy. Please, take this for your service.
We don't have antibiotics. They come on the same ship as everything else.
You're supposed to keep